Welcome back to the Cheekcast Podcast episode. What are we on right now? Episode, well, one of the episodes of the new season. Episode
question mark
2 of season 4, I think is what it is.
We don't know what we're on. We're going to stop numbering them. Is
3.
What we should do.
We're episode 3.
Okay.
Is what we're on. We're on episode, I just pulled it up.
And we're
episode
4 months
3,
into the year. That's
yeah, I
great.
know. Shut
we're doing
up.
A real...
We did one on Christmas, and then we did one a month later, and then we haven't done one since. But we're back, which is amazing in my opinion. And we have a lot to talk about. A lot's happened in the last 3 months since the last podcast was recorded. The first thing I want to talk about, just because it's on my mind right now, is Discord. Okay? Discord, not only has Discord been, what is it? The CEO stepped down at Discord and it's being taken over by a former, vice chairman, I think it is, of Activision Blizzard. People are like, oh no, but he's up there. Like, he doesn't make all the decisions, right? He's just a big wig, right? However, Discord is also going public.
Yeah, it's the beginning
and
of
Lisa,
the end.
Explain what going public means to the people who may not know.
Well, it's going to mean that they're going to publicly trade their company. So the users will be stuck dealing with whatever shareholders decide is best for the company. Because they want that money. You know what I'm saying? Discord apparently does not want to be privately held anymore. They want to go public, which means they're going to offer up a bunch of shares that people can buy, which is a great thing if you're an investor, because Discord is a profitable company. But it means that anyone who is the majority shareholder and all those little people, you do votes.
It means we come second.
Yeah, we
come second to the shareholder board. We don't matter anymore. This is when they're going to start adding in, you have to pay monthly for ads. If you don't want ads to pop up when you're in Discord, you got to pay monthly. They're going to start doing, they can. I'm not going to say they're gonna, but this is when it usually happens.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people are upset because they say like every 10-ish years this happens. Yeah. What do they call it? They called it, I've seen a word for it on Twitter, and shiftification is what they kept calling it. They kept saying that it just, when a CEO gets out and everybody knows it's about to get bad, they go public because that's the easiest way for the big wigs, because the small group of people that own it and make all the decisions are leaving. And that's the best way for them to make the most money before they leave, is to go public. So they're just gonna dip on out of there and leave Discord to probably die. And there is no alternative to Discord.
I don't know that it'll die, because there is no alternative. That's exactly it. It is no longer just an audio meeting platform. It is a social it's a social network almost. Yeah. You can discover people, you can stay private, you can be public,
you can scam people, you can sell porn,
there's all sorts of stuff. So there really is no comparative product right now. But
and I even started looking into TeamSpeak, because I'm like, TeamSpeak said they've revamped some stuff, and they did. I downloaded the platform, but community-wise, it only allows 64 people maximum, and you pay $18 a month to get to. But granted, it's encrypted, it's high quality, it's all this and that, but you can't move a community over there. Maybe piece by piece, but
yeah. Not so much.
There is no rivalry to Discord.
No. Discord is monumental.
If you've been thinking about making a rivalry to Discord and you listen to our podcast, which would never happen, this is your time. Your time is now. You need to step up and you need to swing for the fences, because people are actively looking to leave Discord because of the public thing. Well, I would say the people who pay attention. Because in reality, the default masses don't fucking care.
They won't care.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't pay attention. It doesn't matter to them. So they don't really care. They're just gonna ignore it. Not even ignore it. Live in blissful ignorance. Not even know what's going on.
Yeah, great for investment, bad for user end, most likely. It might not take effect immediately, but I mean, they've changed the way their overlay works now since they did that big update, and most likely that overlay will incorporate advertising at some point. I'm sure they're already testing that.
Have fun streaming to your friends.
Yeah, an ad's gonna pop up.
You'll stream to your boys, and suddenly one of those little shitty mobile ads will pop up, and it'll be like, thunk, 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 play this game now.
Yeah.
Thunk.
I guarantee they're already working on that because, they're gonna look to get bigger as a company. Yeah. So.
Very kind of disappointing.
Oh God! Can you imagine if Discord goes public and then gets purchased by freaking Microsoft? That's what everybody's
speculating. They're speculating they're going to go public and Microsoft's going to instantly full buy them out.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that is probably worst case scenario from the user end as that happens, or it's best case scenario and then they integrate it into Game Pass and then you can play all your games.
I mean. They do have a gaming platform now on Discord. So.
Maybe they just take it over. That's
my God.
If you guys do that, you owe me credit for that. Granted, they've already thought of that.
That's true. They have.
Speaking of things that are kind of crazy, everybody was expecting them to drop Oblivion in like 2026. So they were talking about the announcement towards the beginning of this week because it's the 25th. They did the announcement Tuesday or Monday.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, there's an announcement. I can't wait till they say there," and they dropped it. They just said it on them. They just went up and then while you were sleeping, they said, "Prank him, John," and then they laid it on your forehead.
They did.
And nobody expected it. And it's now one of the best selling games on Steam, obviously because it's freaking Oblivion.
And we're talking about the actual Bethesda Oblivion remaster.
Yes, not the actual game. Sky Oblivion.
Yes, not the alternative game.
If you don't know what Sky Oblivion is, that's a mod that people have been developing probably as long as they've been working on Oblivion Remastered. They said they started in 2021.
I'm pretty sure they started years ago.
But it's supposed to update they're supposed to be making a mod, or I don't know if it's Skyrim or Oblivion, but it's supposed to bring Skyrim. Oblivion up to Skyrim graphics and combine both worlds. Yeah. So you can run around in both worlds. And then Oblivion's like, we've been working on this since 2021. And I will say, from what I played, I haven't played a lot of it because I've been busy. And I really want to play it some more. I haven't played it since the day it came out. It is a really good remaster. They left a lot of the jankiness in. They left a lot of the dumb NPCs. I get stalked by Weeping Angel NPCs because they just stare at you and then stop moving. It's freaky.
But the best news, they actually used a new engine.
You can uncap your FPS.
It's no longer locked anymore. We can actually use it properly.
Hallelujah! It's not frame locked, because if you don't know about the engines, even I think Fallout 3 is where it started. Your game is locked to your FPS. So in Fallout 4, if you up your FPS to 144, you become Quicksilver. Essentially, you just start moving around really fast. But so does everything else.
That was the creation engine, is what that's called. And it was the physics of the game were tied to the frame rate, so it was always locked. It had to be played at a certain frame rate, or the actual physics of the game, like trying to play Fallout 4. And you're like, 60 ain't working for me. Let me bump this up to 90.
Bam.
You're literally falling through the world. You can't lockpick. You can't do anything. You're just Speedy Gonzalez around the game.
Everything. Your projectiles are fast. The enemies are fast. Your lockpicking animations, shoom, 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 and you're breaking shit constantly.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It is. But now they changed that. It's Unreal 5 now, so it's a little harder for some computers to run. Like, let me look at the specs they got up for this thing. Right.
It's pretty. It's not like it's not crazy, but I mean,
minimum is a 1070 Ti 5700 AMD.
Yeah.
And then
so we're looking at a few years, 6-7 years.
Yeah, your
old.
recommended 32 gigs of RAM, an i5 10 series,
which is
with
still
a
a few
20
years
with
old.
a 2080. So you're still looking at
4 years, 5 years, I think 4 years.
But people with like ancient setups that have been just struggling for the last 7 years
aren't going to be able to.
Like, if you have a 1060 and you're like, yeah, my shit, no, you can't play. And we've even had people in the community like Dapper posting that they can't even play they're struggling to play the game because they have a processor with 4 cores in it. And I don't even know what processor has 4 cores if it's not a laptop.
Yeah.
But that's just
these days,
I'm hoping they didn't get scammed out of some money, paying too much money for that. But it's kind of interesting. And they and not only did they remaster the game, they left a lot of the jankiness in. A lot of the bugs that people did and the duping and everything, they just left in because people like that stuff. Not me, I just like to play the game. They remastered both DLCs.
Yeah.
And I read and I've seen it's not part of the base game. People said it is part of the base game. It is not. The deluxe upgrade, I don't think, includes the DLCs.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. But, anyways, I was still very intrigued that they decided to not use their own engine. So that leads, my question is, I haven't researched this, so I don't really have an answer. This is me just talking. They used Creation Engine for a very long time. And, of course, everyone was like, y'all need to update this engine. Like, let's get something new, make a new engine, which they did, by the way. I believe Starfield was built with an upgraded Creation Engine. So
I think it was too.
So why the switch to Unreal? Is that what they're going to be using moving forward just because of ease of access? Or is their own engine too limited to upgrade it any further? You know what I mean? I don't
feel
know
like
the answer.
I feel like it's too limited because it is. Skyrim was Creation 1, and then Starfield was Creation Engine 2.
Yes.
But I feel like their engine, I feel like them building the whole engine around the physics being, FPS based,
doesn't work anymore.
But it's easier for them to just use Unreal 5 than it is to create an entire new engine. That's probably cheaper overall because they don't need to pay people to experiment and come up with a new engine. They can just use what's already good.
I agree. I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's interesting because they had a proprietary product that made their games feel unique because they built it, right?
Not anymore.
And it's fine. I like Unreal.
The only problem with Unreal 5 is they use AI frame generation.
Yes, they do.
To make the game, it makes the game a little like laggy, like your input's a little laggy, but they're like, oh, it gives you 30 more frames, but they're not real frames.
They're not real,
y'all. That's why it's laggy. It's AI frame generation. It's like your peripherals fill in like your eyes around you when you stare forward. That's what it's doing. And it's, that's just the best. I mean,
it makes you feel good that you're seeing that.
But I turn it off and the game plays so much better. I just don't understand. I think that's the worst part about Unreal 5 because it was the same problem I had with Stalker, which I loved Stalker, and I never finished it. I still need to go back and finish it. The frame generation. If you didn't have frame gen on, you walked around at 40 frames. Even with a 3080 and a good processor, the game would kill itself without frame gen.
It seems like, and I'm no expert, but it does seem like we've sacrificed game optimization for AI frame generation to fill in the gap. Whereas they used to just release patch after patch after patch to try to fix the game for different processors and motherboard setups. Like they used to keep making changes to make sure it ran smoothly on every setup. Now it seems like we're not doing that anymore. We're just saying, here's AI frame gen, so everyone can run at 100 frames, but 30 of them aren't real, most likely, or more.
Do that, though, when you can just have AI do it.
Exactly.
That's the thought. That's what everybody says.
That's what it feels like. And
that's every Unreal 5 game is just gonna be like that. That's just how I think that's just where we're going.
I don't like
games as a whole now. Me neither. And we even had to upgrade our CPUs to try and keep up with being able to turn frame gen off. Some games don't even allow you to turn it off.
Yeah.
It just stays on, and it makes your game feel like butt cheeks.
It does. I don't like it very much.
But Oblivion, dog, oh my god, it is amazing. I'm so glad they did it. I'm so glad people like me, I never even went to the first gate. I did a bunch of side stuff, but like right now there's 165,000 people playing just on Steam, and it's on Game Pass day one, so you should probably double that on Game Pass. But I always said I liked Oblivion more than Skyrim. It felt more, the world feels more lived in.
Oblivion was a great RPG, and it came out in 2006. I played it when it launched years and years ago. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was a great game. I feel like if you've never played it or you've looked at it and it didn't look appealing because it looked dated,
this is the time.
Play the new one. This is the new one because it will give you a better idea of like what an old-fashioned RPG game feels like, where
it's Skyrim 2.0.
Your decisions matter and killing people matters, and the little things you do make changes in the game overall, and it's a good time to try it since they've revamped it completely. It looks way better.
This is now 11/11/11 for us. When they dropped Skyrim, they did the same thing with Oblivion, and it's the same thing. The only thing is, I would say avoid social media when it comes to Oblivion, because everybody's just going to, here's the easiest way to dupe items.
Yeah, for the love of God.
Do this first.
Don't.
When you spawn in, run into this random island, swim down here, get this helmet.
Don't do it.
Just play the game. Just play the game.
Experience the game as an RPG is intended. Like,
don't put it on expert though.
True. Honestly.
Don't put it. Otherwise, it's going to take you 20 minutes to kill a wolf, and that wolf will two-shot you.
But go into the game with an open mind, like you want to read a story that you're playing.
That's a good way to put it.
Don't look at min-maxing, and don't look at meta builds. Don't do that. It's an RPG. Experience the damn game.
You want a bow, you better go Wood Elf. I went a Red Guard because that's what Carl is.
If you want to play a lizard, okay, that shoots fireballs, play a lizard that shoots fireballs, damn it.
Yeah, gang shit.
You want to play a cat that uses a mace, you should do that. You don't have to stealth as a cat. You don't have to.
Bonking kitty, dog. That's what I'm saying. Play Oblivion. Oblivion Remastered has been fun, and I need to play it more. I just haven't been.
Quick side note to that. Where's my fucking Morrowind?
Oh my god. You know what you need to do,
Bethesda?
You need to go back. You need to go back. Morrowind, Fallout 3, New Vegas. Pour all them bitches to Unreal 5.
Yeah.
And the same thing will happen. I promise. I promise the same thing that's happening right now will happen over and over and over again.
If they rebuild all those games and charged $50 for each one, I'm buying them all.
Everybody rebuy them, including
buying
me.
Them all.
You put Fallout 4 on Unreal 5, I'm rebuying it. It's not even that old, I'm rebuying it.
$200 down the drain.
New Vegas, so hard for me to go back and play because it's kind of dated. Put it on Unreal 5.
I'm buying it.
Imagine finding a Deathclaw that looks that way.
I'm buying it.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's freaky. I'm buying it.
All the robots walking around talking to you.
Crazy.
I'm ready.
Crazy.
Do it.
That's all. That's the first thing I thought of.
You know what you must do.
I said this is possible now. They need to do it.
They finally did it. I'm excited.
Me too. We're gonna tone it down. We're gonna talk about Schedule 1. So if you don't know Schedule 1, it's a drug dealing game, right? Cartoonish, kind of like Ed. It kind of looks like Ed, right? With the characters and the way they're set up and the way they're built. It looks like Ed.
Goofy.
It's funny. Me and Poe played it. We played it for we probably put 10 hours, like maybe less than that. I put more. I have 40 hours in it. I've done most of what I want to do to it. But fun game. It's fun. They are currently under investigation. People keep saying they're getting sued.
They're not.
By the developers of Drug Dealer Sim because they're successful. They are getting investigated by the publishers of Drug Dealer Sim for potentially stealing assets, I think is what it is. Because the publisher and the developer are two different people.
Yes.
The publisher of Drug Dealer Sim, which I think is specifically for the first one. Developers are called Byte Runner. The publisher is called Movie Games SA. Movie Games is investigating them for stealing assets. And some guys have been doing comparisons. And it, before we get into that, before I start talking about the comparisons, the developers have said they've learned a lot from seeing the success of Schedule 1 and have gotten ideas on how to make their game better due to that fact.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're doing great, because it's one guy. It's literally one dude that made Schedule 1. They're saying he's doing great. They got a bunch of ideas for it. So they're happy that that's happening, right? The publisher said, nah, but the comparisons are really interesting. Like, they compared, I think what he compared the packing station is really similar, including the way the baggies look.
Yeah.
The save, like there's a save thing on the wall that looks like a alarm system that you press, and that saves. It's bar for bar identical for Drug Dealer Sim 1, which could have been easily avoidable if you made it like a telephone on the wall or something instead of like the same setup.
A little intercom system.
Yeah, something like just anything that doesn't look identical to Drug Dealer Sim. They said the table looks really similar. What else? He said the table. He said the save thing. There was quite a few things he was looking at that made sense, and they said it's for the asset. The asset. They think they stole some assets.
Yeah. Which, whether anybody likes it or not, you're not supposed to do. You can buy if you buy the rights to an asset off an asset pack, or some designer made a bunch of assets and they put them out for use for purchase, you can buy those and reuse them. Essentially, you're buying the rights to use them. But if for some reason you've gotten a hold of assets and you don't know the ownership status, it's no different than a piece of art on Google. Technically, all those images you see that you think you can just grab and put on your Facebook page or on Twitter, you're more often than not violating copyright usage.
You're committing a crime.
So whether people like to hear it or not, if assets were stolen, even accidentally, they could be liable for it. It doesn't mean the developer's mad about it. Obviously, they're not. They're like, you're doing a great job. It's a cool game. You're making a lot of money. Good for you.
It is quite literally the phrase, it's nothing personal. It's just business.
Yeah, literally.
Because it is just business.
Yeah.
Like, the publisher's not looking at them going, like, for instance, Nintendo. Sorry, that was gross. For instance, Nintendo. When Nintendo, they sued Palworld. People are like, they're suing them. They're suing them because Palworld's doing... No, they sued them because they literally own the patent for throwing a ball and catching a creature with a ball. It's
not even real.
If Palworld would have used a cube, you know how many times that specific animation is used? Arc even uses it, but they use a pill, like a capsule, like a almost like a mobile little time cage.
Yeah.
Does the same exact thing. But the fact that Palworld used a ball is why they got sued.
Yes.
Because they can't do that.
Yeah.
They didn't sue them because, because they made all new models. They called them all different things. They didn't copy anything. They just have the patent for the ball. It's just business. But people think that everything is because they're doing good.
No. You have to protect your patent. And also, just as a random side note about protecting your patent, if you own the patent of something, and don't get me wrong, y'all, I do think it's a little dumb that they own a patent for a thing that's not real. Something that's not a game.
That's kind of weird.
Don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily agree with that. It's a concept. But they have a literal patent for throwing a ball that looks a certain way, and they own it. And the thing is, like, when it comes to the law of a patent, it's your responsibility to protect the idea, to protect your patent. So if one person uses it and you let that slide, but then you sue the second person that does it, you've set a bad precedent with the first one.
Yeah.
So you have to set that precedent that you can't use this idea. It's my patent. You have to do that.
You got to make an example.
Just sucks. Yeah,
and it's unfortunate.
it's a real thing. It's just unfortunate. I don't agree. Listen, I like to learn about laws and I like to know how things work legally. Doesn't mean I agree with it just because I tell you that it's a fact. I still think it's silly to have a patent on that, but it is what it is. They own it and it's there.
Just like the fact that they have a patent on the freaking Nemesis system still, and they're not even using it.
But that's what company? That's
I don't know.
Not Nintendo. That's
But I'm saying,
yeah,
they're not using the patent system, bro. It's the people who made Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Shadow of. Let me see who it was.
Is it Warner Brothers that owns it? Probably.
Is it Monolith? Warner Brothers might own it. Monolith's the developer.
Warner Brothers is the main company.
But it's probably Warner Brothers. But they own the patent for the Nemesis system, and the Nemesis system is amazing.
And it's in a video game.
And it's in 2 video games, and it's not real. It's just.
Then again, here I will say this: what's different to me, the Nemesis system is programming.
Yeah,
it's an idea of programming and it's coding, right?
And I would say it's real, tangible code.
It is
that exists,
which is what they're protecting. Whereas from what I saw of the lawsuit with Nintendo, they physically had pictures and design layouts of a person throwing a ball. Which was really crazy to me. But maybe it does cover the coding of doing that too. I'm not sure. I don't have
It probably does. But, patents on stuff that in a video game is weird. But I guess it makes sense. Because if there wasn't a patent on the Nemesis system, that bitch would have been recreated 100 times over.
Absolutely.
Like playing Ghost of Tsushima, which I didn't think was, I thought it was a beautiful game. I didn't think it was that great of a game. That would be cool. If you leave somebody alive in a town, he's like, I will get revenge for my father. And he just comes back and he's way stronger than you. And he just like that would be cool. Like, something like, but nobody can do that because you can't even take the concept of the Nemesis system because it's patented.
Yep.
So,
whether people like it or not.
It's the way, that's business, man. It's the way they do it. And it's lame. That means in 20 years when that patent runs out, if they don't renew it, maybe somebody can make a game like that again. Speaking of Nintendo, dude, have you seen the Nintendo Switch prices?
Y'all, it's getting pricey out.
Brother, they're asking for the same price as a PS5.
Yeah, it's
for a handheld console that doesn't even last as long as the original.
Yeah, it's got a worse battery in it. It does look pretty, and it has some semi-interesting features like using the Joy-Con as a mouse. That's kind of cool.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, the games are going to be more pricey too, y'all. Like, this is no longer going to be the console for kids and casual gamers, and it's going to be a higher price point to get into.
Oblivion Remastered is $50. You have to spend $80 to get Mario Kart. And we have a few community members in Canada, and they're like, that's $122. Brother, oh my God.
I ain't doing it at that point. Like,
Panda did the math. He said if you get a carrying case, the deluxe, the charger, the mount to like be able to play it on a TV.
Yeah.
And the Switch,
it was like $800.
It's $870.
Yeah, like that's why, and then more.
You're
for
halfway
Canada.
to a good computer.
Honestly. I mean, you're definitely at a budget laptop.
You're at a budget laptop. You spend
actually a decent laptop for $900.
You spend another $500, go to $1,500. You can get yourself a computer.
PC.
You can get not the greatest computer ever, but you can get a halfway decent one and just skip the Switch altogether.
Yeah.
You could buy a Steam. You can buy a Steam Deck for the same price as a Switch now.
Yeah.
A Steam Deck.
I mean, the Steam Deck's only $400.
And play PC. I thought it was $500.
No, I don't. They have it. There's different ones depending on the size.
And play actual PC games. Yeah, it's $400. But there's different. Yeah, there's different ones.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've used the Steam Deck is crazy. Constantly, man. Granted, the $550 one looks really nice.
Yeah, the new
OLED one's nice. That looks really good.
They do.
And then 1 terabyte. Woo! Okay, I gotta stop looking.
Yeah, back to the topic at hand here. It's getting pricey, y'all.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think I'm holding on to my my original Switch. To be honest,
we don't even use the original Switch.
I mean, we did when we were playing Nintendo games. There just hasn't been anything too crazy that I've been interested in.
I'm not really a big Zelda guy. Like Zelda was okay, but that's all it was to me. It was okay. It's okay. nothing too crazy. But the Switch is, that's out of control, big dog. Out of control, in my honest, humble
They're getting
opinion.
A little crazy. They're getting a little. Right
And
now,
then,
granted, I don't know about the technology. I'm sure it did cost more, and you can blame tariffs or whatever you want. But
it probably did cost more, but that battery ain't any better. Lisa?
Oh God, I'm here.
Okay. She must have been taking a drink. I was like,
I'm still here.
see, to bring her back, all I got to do is go. Overwatch is making a comeback.
I love that stupid game. Stupid cursed game. Overwatch is making a comeback, though. In case you haven't been following everybody, which, let's be honest, you probably have. Marvel Rivals came out. We talked about it. It was doing great. It still is doing great.
Still doing
Let's
great.
be honest.
It's still doing good.
It is still doing
Let's see what
very
it's
good.
on Steam.
But the pressure that they put on Blizz, Activision Blizz, is a good thing.
It's got 158,000 still on Steam right now.
Yeah, that seems to be their average.
Pretty high.
120 to 160.
Yeah.
But I will say the pressure is good. It made Overwatch step up and start releasing stuff that they were edging everybody on for a long time. It's not ready.
We're not ready to do that. We're not ready. No, we didn't do that.
No. They had to start putting stuff out. They brought out 6v6 like people wanted. It's now, as far as I know, like a semi-permanent game mode. They started making changes.
They have the perk system. They made
Stadium. Now they have the perk system. Season 16 just came out. They released Stadium as a mode now, where finally, not just the perks that you have in your regular gameplay, they now have a full built-out purchase system, which is, before anybody says they're copying Paladins or a MOBA, they talked about this system in the beginning of the release of Overwatch 1, when they talked about PvE. This was talked about many, many, many years ago, and they even previewed some of these purchasable traits in the Stadium mode. This was the
whole reason they made Overwatch 2, was to do this shit.
It was supposed to be for PvE content mostly.
It does look really good though. I'm looking. I haven't really seen much on it.
I'm glad to have it in general. I'm glad to have it because it is very interesting, and it seems like a lot of people are enjoying the Stadium mode because it's long, but it's short at the same time.
And they give you items too. That's cool.
They give you items. You have abilities, and then you have purchasable traits you can get. So each game can be very different.
Kind of like a MOBA.
It is correct. Yes, it is like a MOBA, and it is like I said, this was all intended for PvE. A lot of this was already previewed many years ago, and I'm glad they finally pushed it out. And it seems a lot of people are going back to Overwatch to try Stadium, and there's a new character that came out, a new DPS that it has apparently a pretty high skill ceiling, so a lot of people are enjoying that. And they are making a lot of changes. Do I still think they are greedy? Sure. I'm glad they brought back loot boxes, and a lot of them you can get for free. I don't personally
the opening
care.
animation isn't as nice as it was before.
Opening animation of the boxes?
The loot boxes. It's kind of disappointing.
I will say that in a recent survey that I took, I hope I can talk about it, that they did ask about that. That was one of the questions, was how satisfying it feels when you open a loot box. And I said, it is not satisfying anymore.
Not at all.
I said, I like the idea. Thank you for bringing them back, but let's bring back the whole animation, shall we? Because that was the best part, was seeing it all right in front of you. It was very exciting. Anyways, they're making changes, and the pressure from Rivals is definitely pushing them into not holding back anymore, because they will lose their audience.
They have to be better.
However, I will say Overwatch 2 gets apparently pretty decent concurrent players. Of course, it's way lower than a lot of other FPS games. I'm only talking about Steam. somewhere between like 28 and 30 some odd, 34, 35,000.
I think right now it's at 35K, and they average the 46 is their peak.
Yeah.
But Steam is like not even close to their main plan. Like I've never touched it on Steam.
Same.
I play it on BattleNet.
Correct. And there was a dev chat I saw quite a while back when it first got review bombed when it came onto Steam, and they did say that Steam was like a very small fraction of the players, but they wanted more people to have access to it that didn't want to download BattleNet. So that's why they put it out. But even if it's 20% of their game base, they have a lot of damn players on BattleNet.
To say, if you Google Overwatch 2 players, or you Google any game that has like an active player base, and you come across a website like activeplayer.io, it's all bullshit. It's not real, because they don't have the access to BattleNet's. BattleNet does not publish or post or show how many players are playing their games.
Yeah,
they don't have access
blocked
to the API. It's not real.
Yeah.
And people used to use these stats as facts. And it's not, it's just randomly generated numbers and stuff to make it look real. It's not real.
It ain't real. So, but either way, point being, I think it's good. Overwatch has a lot of pressure. They're actually releasing things. It seems like people are enjoying a lot of the changes. It's positive. I think it's good. I will say that leeways us right into talking about Marvel Rivals.
It does.
Because there's also a bigger reason why people are coming back to Overwatch besides the new content. Apparently there's some drama recently over there in Marvel World.
There's I've read about this. I've been hearing a lot about it. And it's this guy named Necros, who's apparently a Spider-Man main and is really toxic towards strategists, which they're not supports. They're strategists, right?
Support.
He's really he's really toxic towards these people. So people are really not happy. So the strategist just decided, well, then we're not going to play it anymore. And it's apparently absolutely ruining the game. Because people go in and they pick 2 tanks and then 4 DPS. Because
no one is willing
to heal. They're going on strike to not play strategist anymore. And it's crazy.
I've started seeing videos about it, and I think I actually saw a live stream as I was just scrolling through the other night, and that's it literally said, we no longer play strategist right on the screen, and it was no one will pick it now.
It's insane, and it's not even like it's hurting the player base, but it's not, because people still can't put it down.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they do to counteract it.
They don't.
People
they let
just have
people
to
play it out.
They just have to let them go, I guess.
Because the dev said they do not have plans of creating a role lock at all.
But what's so crazy to me is over one person, I understand boycotting or getting into his game if you happen to run into him at a high rank or whatever, and you're like, well, we're not playing strategists. But you're in silver throwing your games because you won't play strategists.
Yeah.
Like, that's really weird to me.
It's a little weird, but then again, you have to look at the mindset of all for one. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, we're all a part of this together. So I guess, stand with your people, stand with your strategists, and don't play.
Yeah, and NetEase does not care.
No,
they don't care.
No.
They're not watching. People are like, they don't care.
They don't care.
Nephew, they can care. They can care less. They just want you to. They want you to buy skins. Buy skins. Buy skins. That's why they release Gooner skins, so you can goon, and you pay $20. You pay $20 so you can see all but Emma Frost's nipples. Like,
however, I will say this: you're 100% right, and I don't fall for it because I don't buy skins, but it's made for some really talented cosplayers. Like, damn, there's been some really good
real talented cosplayers. You can't see, but I'm pushing my bosoms up. Real talented cosplayers.
Listen, Okay.
I have the camera on because that's what I'm going to use for YouTube.
Oh God.
So
okay.
they get to see me.
Oh my.
I just saw another game today. Speaking of new games.
Yeah.
Dune. I've never seen Dune. Never seen the movie with what is his name? Timothy Chalamet or whatever his name is.
Timothy Chardonnay.
Yeah, Timothy. Yeah, Timothy Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Never really seen the movie.
Or read the books.
Haven't done nary a damn thing.
But that's August, right? That game comes out, I think.
Yeah, the beta's
Full
going
launch.
on. The beta's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
June 10th.
June. Okay, I thought it was.
But the reason that it interests me is I saw it and I was like, let me look it up because it looks like a survival crafting game, and I'm like, oh boy, another one, just like RuneScape Dragon Wilds, another survival craft. No, it's like Once Human, which is also a NetEase game that they want you to goon on.
Yeah, they sure do. They love it.
They do. They sell all those little prissy skins, so you'd be like, oh my god,
they know what gets their, they know their audience, bro. Know it.
They're geniuses, bro. But it's the same concept as that, where PvP is optional. You sell me when you have me that, and then and then it's supposedly really harsh because apparently the Dune universe is like really harsh.
Oh, it is.
And there's a bunch of like different play styles, and I was like, man, Once Human style survival, I love. It's a big with hundreds of players, thousands of players on the same planet.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a fan of survival type games like what do you call it? Survival crafting games, base building games. I'm not a fan of that. I never have been. However, I will say this: it looks like Dune Awakening has sandworms, and I'm all over that.
It does have sandworms.
Because that is a crazy concept to be building on a world that could possibly get wrecked by a giant sandworm. That would look so sick.
It looks really cool. And I can't remember who I was watching play it today. Maybe it was Elijah's on Twitch. And I was like, oh man, it actually looks pretty good. So if I ever get access to it, which I hope I do, I would love to try it. Because I put a lot of hours into Once Human.
Yeah, you did.
And then that game pooped itself. So I'll probably never play. I'll never play it again. But if I can get into Dune and Dune's better than that, I'm sold, baby. You know, get me in there. Put me in, coach.
I'd watch. I don't think I'd play, but I'd watch.
There's too many games to play right now. It is getting kind of frustrating.
There are a lot of
There's too many. I just played Marathon for 4 hours yesterday. Blank has already asked me to play again today.
Yeah.
And I told him that I was busy. And Marathon's another extraction shooter. It's kind of like The Cycle Frontier, which is which wasn't a bad game. It's closed because the devs gave up on it.
Yeah.
But it's all right. Like I have like complaints on it, but nothing that's like huge.
Yeah.
Like no glaring issues. I'm just not a big extraction person. I was hoping it was going to be extraction more like Hunt.
Yeah.
Which it kind of is, but it's more like Tarkov where you take in the setup and there's different bullets and you got to go in and it's like,
but it is more, you want to upgrade actiony.
Yeah, you want to upgrade your vault, then you got to go find these microprocessors. And then you find them all, and then you can upgrade your vault when you get out of the thing, or you die and they go on the ground.
Yeah.
It is more like, actiony because there's robots everywhere.
It is more like Apex had a baby with Tarkov.
Yeah, because each person, there's what, four runners, and they all have different abilities. And the abilities play a big part in how you fight. One can go invisible, throw a smoke screen that makes them invisible.
Can you have duplicate?
Yeah, me and Lank were running the double invisible person yesterday.
Okay, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, we were both running the double, and then me and Zeke were running the double scan. And they have a scan character. They have like somebody who uses a shield, one who's really fast and can jump really high. It does kind of play like Apex because it's the 3 people teams.
That's almost like Super People.
Yeah. Oh man.
We won't talk about it. Rip the Boy.
I love that game. Oh.
I know. Rip the Boy. We won't talk about it.
But it's pretty interesting. It's just kind of, I mean, it is an alpha. I was going to say...
Will it fill the void? Will it fill that need?
I don't know.
Because as Shroud said the other day, and he was kind of saying
you can't overtake Tarkov.
I mean, in that aspect, yeah.
That is just simply not possible.
There's not a lot of room in the market for games to overtake other games. Like,
no.
There just are big dogs, period. There are big dog top games. And occasionally a new game comes out and people like cling to it and then they're like, okay, I'm bored, I don't want you anymore. And then it's you dropping Woody on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is that within like a month?
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Exactly.
I think Marathon could fill the void.
It's flavor of the month. You know what I mean?
I feel like it could fill the void of the people who enjoyed the cycle. Because it is kind of cycle-esque. It's just a little bit more, it's futuristic. A lot more futuristic than the cycle was. Cycle was like old war, and it has better PvE, which I think the cycle, in my opinion, was missing.
Yeah.
It was missing. There was like whole missions yesterday where we didn't see a person, but we were struggling because we're fighting 2 or 3 waves of robots, and then it sends a commander and his 2 guards after us.
Yeah.
But when we beat him, when we finally did beat him, we got our first 2 purple weapons.
Yeah.
Right? Which are so much better than the normal. And stuff like that does make me like the game more.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the perfect in-between for people who are like, I really want to play an extraction shooter, but I don't want to learn Tarkov. I don't want to learn what every single letter means for my ammo, so I know what penetrates and what doesn't, because that's how it is. Tarkov has an infinite list of items. You can have, there's like 20 different bullets for one gun. And they all do different things. So I feel like it could be a perfect in-between for that, but they also have to do it right, which is the hard part. I think if they pull it off, it could have a little place. I think it could average like low ball. I think it could average like 10K people, which isn't a bad number at all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe.
But
10,
I think it could.
10,
I think
12.
it could, you're not going to dethrone. People think it's going to dethrone Tarkov.
No.
The people who play Tarkov are far too deep into Tarkov.
The people that play Tarkov have mental.
You are a masochist.
They're maniacs.
You're
bro.
crazy.
It's so crazy. Look, like watching videos of people in Tarkov. Like there were people that played it kind of casually. They'd like, I play PUBG a little bit here, and then I switch to Tarkov when I want to play a little more seriously.
No.
But then there's people that are like, they're just chain smoking, like they're on the front lines playing Tarkov. Like, it's crazy, those people.
They got the horse thing on that like hangs around their neck so they can lean down and eat, and it's just a basket full of smelling salts while they're playing. They just play and they go, oh yeah, and then they just run in and just go clear labs. They do labyrinth, and it's crazy.
They're in there for hours stalking people. Like it's wild. It's a weird, wild world.
And then
the
problem is like I said this on stream yesterday. I said the problem with like a game like Tarkov is you're pigeonholed, really, just like Dead by Daylight. If you play DBD, you don't really have anything you can switch to.
Right.
That your audience would be somewhat interested in.
There's what? Friday the 13th is dead. I don't.
And then they had the clowns versus aliens or whatever. The evil aliens, clowns,
which is also partially dead. And then you had Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If
you get big on a game like that, you're kind of just stuck playing it. Like if you start to hate it, bro, I'm sorry.
DVD will always be again the big dog.
And they always will.
Aspect,
and then Tarkov is the same thing. Like I just periodically see the Burnt Peanut do stuff on TikTok. And he's like one of the only casual people I see. Everybody else is super serious. That man does knife fights and stuff, but he probably has like 10,000 hours in that game.
I wouldn't even doubt it.
And I'm like, it's crazy to me. And the people that play it, there's just like you gotta have a problem. Like the people who still play Apex, I'm sorry, but you gotta have a problem.
Just try a different game.
Like you just get your ass whooped and then go up to your bully and say thank you and then wait for it tomorrow too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they just keep beating the game up and people just keep going back to it.
You know,
there's so many options out there to play now.
You fall in love with your abuser.
You have it too.
You know what I mean? Hey. Listen. Okay.
Except now your Stockholm syndrome person went to therapy and they're starting to get better.
Yeah, I knew that they would pull through, okay?
Lisa said, I know you're going to change, baby. I know you're going to change. I know. And then they're like, I do want to change, you know? It's been a long time.
I never lost a day of faith with Overwatch. Never lost a day. I knew it. I knew it was going to come back around to me. I knew it would. Listen, I also play other games, thank you. I play Warcraft, alright? I play some other side games.
Brotato.
Okay, don't tell people the fact that I have as many hours in that game as I do.
How many hours do you have in Brotato? If you don't tell me, I'm going to look it up.
I'll tell you. I have 137 hours.
Dang, I got 109. Listen, if you haven't bought Brotato, this is non-sponsored. All these games I tell you to play are non-sponsored. It's on sale for $3 right now.
Go buy Brotato.
It is the best $3 you will ever spend, my dude.
It is
that, and then buy the entire. You can do the whole bundle for like less than $10. Both the DLCs are one's $5, one's $4. They're literally on sale for 20% off right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best. It is $7.18 for both DLCs, and then $3. It is literally just slightly above $10, and you can get so much game time out of that game. It is incredible. I love that game. I will push that game to the end of my days because it's so amazing.
It really is.
It's just it's so well. Oh man, I can't. I love that game.
It love is very that good. Game. Worth it. All right, but relax on.
Dude, it's just that game. I'm not. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy it. I still play Siege.
I was about to ask.
I get my ass cheeks are red from getting smacked by Siege, and I still go back like a good boy. I go back and get beat up every day in that game. And then there's the same people that do the same, like they go and play cheaters every day, and the same thing happens. They go in and they're just like, oh, it's a cheater. And they just move like that's 4 cheaters in a row, bro. I'm tilted. I'm getting off. I'm going to do something else, man. I don't know how people have the mental fortitude to do that shit for 7 hours a day. Even if I was a champ, dude, I'd hit a cheater a few times and have to take a break.
Understandable.
But, I've been playing a lot of Siege because I'm excited for Siege X, which is supposed to like revamp Siege as a whole. It's supposed to like put it on an updated engine, which is really funny.
That's because coming up fast, isn't it?
I think so. But
it's June.
When they said they made fun of Overwatch, they said,
I remember that tweet.
They tweeted out, we don't need a sequel to be good. People will continue to play our game. And what are they doing? They're making a sequel.
Now we're gonna bring out Siege X. It's nothing like what Overwatch did. It's nothing
like Overwatch. It's an entire different beast. It's on June 10th. The Siege X comes out.
Yeah, I thought it was June.
Visual enhancements, overhaul, rappel upgrades, which you're supposed to be able to sprint side to side on the building now. And protection system, free. It's supposed to be free.
I know they're changing the audio. Which they're supposed to be changing. Exciting,
that is exciting because they have I think they have good audio as it is.
Yes.
By changing it, that means it's going to put people on a semi-level playing field because suddenly people like, I'm going to say Jinxie, because Jinxie has like some of the best ears to ever play Siege.
Honestly.
They're going to have, whether it's better or worse, they're going to have to relearn some things because it might sound a little different, They're supposed to be launching a new 6v6 mode, a new anti-cheat.
It'll be good. Hopefully.
So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to like try and work on getting better at the game before that happens. But they said new anti-cheat, and then you have to pay to play ranked.
You know what I forgot about though?
What?
Aren't they releasing a new game mode too?
Yes, dual front.
Yeah.
Which is okay. We played the beta. It was okay. But the paying thing, that means when a cheater gets banned now, they make a new account. They have to pay again.
And they'll have to rank up, won't they? Don't you have to hit a minimum?
You have to hit like level 25 or something to play ranked. Mm-hmm. And then they have to get up to ranked, and then they have to buy ranked again.
Yep.
And as much as a deterrent as that is, I think it'll work for a while.
It'll work to some degree. It should cut down on.
It does worry me about stuff like granted they have it so you have to use your phone too. You have to have a phone linked to your Siege account. So not only do you have to pay,
like Overwatch, ironically, like Overwatch.
Not only do you have to pay, you have to have a phone link. So I'm hoping that reduces some of the cheaters. I don't know if it will or not.
I feel like it kind of helps in Overwatch. I don't feel like it's quite as bad in Overwatch these days. There still are people that do it.
A lot of people are worried about the balancing of Siege because they're adding like little red pipes on the walls that explode into fire like a mini Goyo trap. Fire extinguishers that make smoke off an area if you shoot it. So people are worried about doing like a cap can trap next to the fire and only doing one, and then somebody hits it, goes down to 50 HP, and then that fire takes them down for the last 50 health they have. Well, people are worried about stuff like that, and I'm like, we're just gonna have to roll with the punches.
Yeah, you just gotta play it out.
We just have to play it and see how. And I think that's interesting. I think the fact that they're changing it that much, dude, everybody who's been used to the game, that would be the time to play would be Siege X because everything's going to be new for everybody.
It forces a shake-up, which is good.
Which I think will be cool. I think it'll change the way characters play. It'll change the meta, and hopefully, anyway.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good move. And if you're like me and you really love Path of Exile, but this season's not really doing it for you, and you play PC, I don't know if it's on console or not. I would assume it is. I would give Last Epoch a try. I've been playing it as like a casual game. Just like, I play it like an hour a day or something and just make a little bit of progress. It's been pretty fun. It's kind of boring to watch, so that's why I understand why people don't watch it. But, it's pretty fun. It's a lot simpler. It's like a perfect in-between. It's not as complex as PoE with the skill tree, like my God. And having to set your abilities up that way, but it's not as easy as Diablo. I think it's a nice little in between. It's pretty fun.
And there is no official release for console.
Oh, I thought it was on console. So it's just PC, really? Interesting.
From what I can see.
I wonder how many people it has on PC. But I'm looking it up. I have been enjoying it though. It is, wow. It was down to like 1,000 before the new season. It's getting 62K right now.
That's
with
pretty good.
88K in 24 hours. But it's pretty fun. I was playing it literally before we did this. And it's just kind of one of those games where I just put in a little bit of time and it's been pretty fun. I'm not even to the point where I can make the build that I want to make. There's new games coming out. Elden Ring Night Reign.
There's a lot, actually. There's a lot coming out.
Yeah,
this is a good year for gaming,
this is
actually.
Great, bro. Kingdom Come Deliverance. We played Rematch, which was like they call it Rocket League without cars, which is just soccer or football wherever you're from. You call it.
It's spicy football.
But it was just the way you dribble and everything, and you can kick it off the walls. I think that's what they were talking about more so.
It is.
But it was pretty fun. The beta was a little clunky because there's only like 2 ways to get the ball from somebody. So people would just run at you and spam it over and over. And if you got tripped, you just couldn't recover fast enough to play the ball anymore.
Yeah.
So it was fun for a while, but it got old after a little bit. And I'm curious to see how they do it. It's made by the same people who made Sifu and Absolver, which, I love Absolver. Such a good game. So sad it didn't get the love it deserved. But that was a pretty fun game. I think Elden Ring Night Reign, from what I saw of the beta, it looks all right. It's what, like a roguelike Dark Souls? Well, it's roguelike. So. It's roguelike Elden Ring with like up to 3 people.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which looks kind of interesting. Your goal is to like beat a boss at the end, but I haven't really seen much about it. The beta was. I personally don't think the beta was well received because I didn't see it talked about a lot.
Yeah.
I recently saw a video on Doom, which reminded me that there was a new Doom game because some guy was explaining the lore of Doom guy.
Which is very interesting.
And he said he was really excited for the lore to be improved on the Dark Ages.
It's going to be different. I am excited about it because I loved the Doom remake 2016. I loved it.
So that was the one that was such a great game.
the Doom Eternal, liked it, but it got too platformery for me personally. Still liked it, love the art design, love the sound design, all of that. Just too much platforming. But Dark Ages is supposed to be more about the weapons and the gunplay rather than the map design. So it should like blend the two together better.
That's why I didn't really like Eternal either. It felt almost level based, where you would go in and that area was the level you would fight in. I haven't seen this game that you put on here called Hell Is Us.
It's very interesting. It looks pretty good, actually.
Third person action adventure game.
Probably have heard about it.
Interesting. I'll have to wait for more to come out. It's in September.
Yeah, it's a ways out. It's a ways out, but it'll be on console, and it'll be it'll explore some. It's Unreal 5 game. It's a action adventure fighting puzzle. You know.
Oh, it does a lot of things, huh?
It's got a lot going on to it, and I think from what I remember, it's going to have a good amount of gameplay in it. It's going to explore some dark things, some dark topics.
It looks pretty cool from what I can see of it.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks interesting.
I like the screenshots they put in it. Big towering stuff in the background, and looks very post-apocalyptic, medievally, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It looks very cool. And then Borderlands 4.
We're all ready for that.
Borderlands 4. Pretty sure Borderlands 4 and Marathon come out on the same day.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, because that's what Sith was talking to me about. He said it comes out on the same day, and he doesn't know which one he wants to play.
No, granted.
And I said, I'm sorry. Borderlands 4 takes precedent.
No, I will say Borderlands is a, not offline, but you know what I mean. Like that's you playing a story.
Yeah.
Whereas Marathon is PvP.
Yeah, which is more exciting.
Yeah.
More exciting to watch.
It's two different audiences, kind of. They're both, FPS games, but it's two different audiences, so it shouldn't be too bad. But Borderlands will probably go crazy. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
I do like a couple of these topics you have up here. I do want to talk about this time around.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of people interested in streaming.
So many people.
So many people want to stream, and I am going to give you the cold hard facts. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's it. I would like that. I would. In today's day and age, bro, it's really easy to pick up. There's people who make their whole online presence just teaching people how to stream, teaching you how to set it up, teaching you how to do this. There's infinite possibilities and infinite ways you can learn how to do it. But that's the problem. If you go to any category on Twitch, any category at all, you'll see so many people playing a certain game.
Hundreds and thousands of people.
Let me pull one up, for instance.
Streaming to themselves.
Siege. Siege, right? You see, there's 50,000 people playing Siege. And of those 50,000 people, 35 to 40,000 are all the top 5 people. If you do 3 scrolls down, you'll start to get to the 10 people streams. You got to realize that 50,000, probably 8,000 of those people in that 50,000 is just one people streams.
One viewer streams.
and it's usually just you.
Yeah.
And while you might occasionally have somebody come through, it's discouraging to try and do that. I would recommend that if you do want to stream and you're like, I'm dead set, this is the path that I want to take, start somewhere else. Streaming should not be your priority. Start on YouTube, start making videos, start on TikTok, make shorts, do something. Edit, get your name out there, and then start streaming. If that's really what you want to do. Because if it's impossible to grow as a streamer. If that's all you do.
Nearly impossible. It takes either extreme luck and circumstance or you knowing somebody that's already big that can share the wealth with you.
Which has happened to a few people where they come in and within a month they have 1,000 to 3,000 people watching them, and it's because they know the biggest name in the category and they're already collabing with that person.
Yeah. Or your name's on a leaderboard somewhere.
Yeah, and you're crazy.
Sometimes. But I mean, I see people all the time in like Overwatch that are top 10 and they stream to 2 people.
I mean, there was a CS guy I watched that was like, he was number 4 on the leaderboard in Premiere and had 7 viewers.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
I just want to soften the severity of this.
Yeah.
Because that sounds bad. It might come across as don't do it because you're dumb, or don't do it because you're competition, or don't do it whatever. I don't know how you might interpret
because you're dumb.
Saying,
don't do it because you're dumb.
Don't do it. The reality is, like, we've talked to a lot of different people, small streamers, aspiring content creators, and the reality is, like, it's a great idea. I understand. You play games, you're passionate about games, you're passionate about community maybe. You're passionate about creation and just, stream, just maybe you just like the voyeuristic part of it, like just having people hang out with you, watch you,
which is perfectly reasonable.
Like, I totally get all the reasons that you might want to stream. I'm going to tell you the reasons not to. Not only is it a saturated market? I'm not going to say oversaturated because, I mean, hypothetically, anybody could get lucky, right? Anybody could make it big in streaming, in YouTube, content creation, any of it. Anyone could make it big, sure. Anyone could win the lottery, too. It doesn't mean you're going to go out and buy 100 tickets. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of streaming is luck.
A lot of streaming is luck. And then on top of it, a lot of dedication. And again, you could get lucky, and if you do ever get lucky or you build a community, wonderful. That's great.
We love to see that.
But we've also talked to people that have, I'm not naming names, but that have privately come to us and said, I'm out of money. I have kids. My wife wants to leave me. How do I build a community? This is making me depressed. How do you do it on the day-to-day? I don't understand how to make it a career. First off, we're not experts. I'm not even a streamer. I'm saying it like I'm doing anything. I'm part of the background. But
she's the brain.
You can take someone like Obrodo, who was never a big dog streamer. Never. He had viral videos, and he had a good run of a couple years of getting a decent. He's never been a big streamer. If you have less than maybe 500 viewers, you're small, no matter what. Actually, I would say maybe even like 750 to 1,000. You're small.
It depends. Depends on, because there's people who sit, like, I would consider Macy a big streamer, and he gets like 600.
But I've seen him on days where he gets 1,200.
Yeah, and sometimes they go crazy. It all depends.
It does depend. I mean, we'd have to go into averages. I'm not even going to do that. But my point is, like, it's hard. That's the reality. This is heart to heart. It's hard. During COVID, a lot of people made content, made streaming their career or a healthy hobby, because we were all trapped in our houses and had nothing to spend money on, and we had nothing to do, and we were feeling very emotional, vulnerable, and we wanted to support people. Yeah. People gave subs, people gave donos, people entertained for money for the people that had money to spend, and it was great. It was such a cool experience.
That was the big, and that's what drew a lot of people to streaming.
Absolutely, because it looks like this is an easy way to make money. But I'm going to tell you guys the reality is, even someone like Obrodo here, who had a bump of fame, if you want to call it that, and had a good run and had some popularity, you can lose that at any time. And I will tell everybody here that is aspiring to stream, it's expensive in the startup.
Yeah.
It does require
it's expensive now.
Yeah, it requires dedication, which is hard. I mean, like that for any job, whether you're working a normal job, whether you're a parent, whether you're in school, it takes you the dedication like any other hobby or passion or job. And it is hard. And mentally and physically.
One of the problems is too, if you decide, okay, I need a mental break, right? And you take 2 weeks off. There's people that don't do that, right? And when it comes to content creation in general, whether it's editing, streaming, there's always somebody that's working harder than you are. And
Always.
you will lose your audience to them. It's not, oh, I could. You will.
Yeah.
I got sick for 2 weeks, and it's been hard for me to get my numbers back up, which they are going back up now. But it was hard to get it back up for the first week because
people were used to you being offline.
People were used to me being offline. And if you drive past a store and you're like, oh man, they're closed, and then you drive past the next day and they're closed again, you're going to be like, oh, they must just be closed for renovations or something. You'll drive past a month later and be like, oh, they're back open. I wonder how long they've been open. You know, that's how streaming is. If you're not, it's a revolving door. And if you're not constantly keeping that door open, people are just going to go elsewhere and watch other people.
Yeah. It can be, people are fickle. And this isn't, that is not a slight at any one person or group. That's just how people are.
And
That's
it's even worse nowadays with the attention span problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's people that come into my stream and tell me they're watching like 9 people at the same time. Because they're just bouncing around and it's all different games and it's like scrolling for them.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
And again, viewers can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally fine. I'm not here to tell anybody what they can or can't watch or do, but just for all the people out there that are like, I think I want to stream, just especially folks that like have real life responsibilities. Like if you got nothing going on and you have money, you know, you do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
You do you.
Like if you're living, even if you're 18, living with your parents and you got nothing else to do, hop in that bitch, bro.
Try it. Give it a shot for 6 months.
Give it a whirl.
See how it works for you. Sure, but like for the love of all that is holy, if you are an adult and you've got responsibilities, you've got a family of any sort, you've got a lot of pets, you travel, you know, whatever, either treat streaming as a literal hobby, like you're just hopping on to hang out with the boys for a little while and just treat it like a hobby, or just please remember to prioritize your real life stuff.
Yeah, I've seen
it's so easy to get wrapped up in your stream being your number one, and it can hurt people. And it does.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it hurt people. I've seen people get that bump where they go up to 7 people in one day, and then that whole week they just ignore their family or even their kids, and they're just like, I got to do it again, and then it doesn't happen again, and then they get depressed about it, and then creates I've seen that happen, and it creates a spiral. You can't stream with expectations. And I've said this before. I said, if I didn't have my community, I probably would stop.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the community that I built and the community that I love, the family that I have now, I'd probably be a YouTuber and working a normal job.
Yeah.
Because
for sure,
streaming is so difficult now. Just because it's even, and like I say, just make some content first. Even that's hard. Because now you're competing with AI generated videos, bots, people who spam post 100 times a day. Yep. And then you also have to realize, if you make content, people are going to hate you. And they're going to hate you for no reason. I still, to this day, it's been 4 years since I've played Apex. I still get death threats for not playing Apex anymore.
Because God forbid one of your old videos pops up on someone's FYP, they immediately hate you all over.
It pops up on their FYP, and they'll comment on a video that's 3.5 years old and go, bro, this fat ass needs to get back on the game, and they just start yelling at me. I'm like,
there's
brother,
a lot of KYS in his comments sometimes.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And I'm like, brother, I get 24 people on my stream, and we just kind of vibe. Like, it's crazy to me.
I really hope that doesn't happen to most people, because again, when I say people are fickle, it's true. People somehow collectively, like a fucking herd, just decide who they want to fucking hate on and who they want to love and worship. It's really weird. It's like some cult-like behavior, but either way,
God forbid you're fat. God
Oh
forbid
God.
you're fat. I'm fat.
Or
God forbid.
unattractive or different.
I play
Good God.
one siege clip of like an ace, and I don't even really say anything. Healthiest siege player.
Yeah, it's just instant.
Your mom.
But just again, but that plays into the whole streaming can be a mental drain. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
You gotta have a lot of mental fortitude.
I am not here to shit on anyone's dreams. But I am here to say, be prepared. Like it's not just rainbows and lollipops. It definitely isn't, especially now post COVID when life is kind of back to normal. I would love to tell every person that comments or emails or talks to us about streaming and say, fucking go for it, buddy.
Yeah, brother.
I do want to say that. But it can be scary. You can lose all your money. Don't forget to pay taxes because y'all, you got to pay whatever percentage bracket you're in. You got to set all that money aside for taxes.
And that's even if you make any money.
Yeah.
He
made negative money and we still had to pay taxes.
It took me I've been streaming for 8 years, only 4 years of the Cheek Squad. It took me 3.5 years of streaming as an affiliate to get my first $100.
Yeah, it did, because you had to have that.
Because you gotta have 100 to check out for them to send you money. And people just think that I'm gonna stream, here comes the money. Money, and it just starts rolling. It's not like that. Even now for me, it's not like that.
And not just that, Twitch is really pushing hard on, like, they've opened up something. On
everything.
Like, now affiliates will essentially have the same rights and resources that partners do, essentially. Regardless of that, that's just Twitch. But it's a weird business. I'm using air quotes here. It's a weird business to get into. Like I said, thank you. Treat it like a hobby where you're just jumping in to hang out and vibe. And if you pop off, fantastic. I hope everybody has that opportunity one day. But the reality is you probably won't. And I don't want to break hearts, but at the same time, the amount of people that ask him, Obrodo, and sometimes me, even though I don't do anything, that have come to us privately and asked for guidance or, ask opinions or whatever. I don't want people to lose their actual livelihood. I don't want you to quit your day job to stream, because the reality is you probably will fail. It's no different than trying to open a restaurant. It's actually worse.
It's no different than trying to go to the NFL. Like, it's that small. Everybody fails.
What is it, like the top, like 90, I don't know, I think it's like 90 some odd % of the viewership goes to like the top 3%, less than that, like top 2% of streamers or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I'm literally looking up the Twitch stat thing, and I'm going to tell you with my small average, what percentage I am. I average 23.9 viewers.
Yep, that's good days and bad days.
I am top 0.9% on Twitch.
See, that's crazy, y'all. What the hell?
23 viewers, 0.9%, which means that the majority of Twitch streamers, probably 99.8% of viewers, watch the top 0.01% of streamers.
Probably. Something like that. I don't know the exact math, but again, and the other reality is not everybody has unlimited money. Not just to set up and be a streamer, but to be a viewer and support somebody else. We know very intimately that the audience that Obrodo has is very generous, and we appreciate everybody that has gifted subs or bits or tipped or sent us stuff, and we're extremely appreciative and lucky, and it's a humbling thing when you experience great months and then you have months where you make no money at all. And luckily, Obrodo has always had a support system. So it's never been a detriment. He's never lost his home. He's never lost his car. But we have seen that happen to people. And I don't ever want to tell someone, yes, follow your dreams, become a streamer, put in 12 hours a day, and then you lose your apartment. I don't ever want to tell someone
Yeah, which
you know,
we've
that
definitely
could hurt
I
you.
think we've sold that fact
I hope
in this
so.
podcast. We've
I hope so.
yeah, I don't like it. Like we say, I don't want to discourage people from doing what you want to do, from trying to do it, but don't put it first. Don't even put it in your top 5.
Your real life comes first, please.
Everything else should come first before streaming.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, if you boot up your stream and you don't pay attention to your chat and you don't talk to anybody and you're just playing games, people don't want to watch that.
That's true.
And they won't. And then you get discouraged that nobody's watching. You have nobody to talk to. I'm blessed that I talk to myself.
You do. It's a little annoying.
I sit here and Lisa will be like, who are you talking to? Nobody. I'm playing Assassin's Creed. I'm talking to the characters in the game. So that's translated well to streaming. That's
a skill, right? Not everybody has that. But even if someone learned the skill, that still doesn't mean you're going to have an audience.
Exactly. It's just, we just don't want to discourage you from doing what you want to do. We're just telling you from where I've been with my 135 average for a month and a half or 2 months down to what I am now, which is like 23 average. Streaming is not for everybody.
No.
And you might watch somebody like Shroud and be like, oh man, it looks really easy. They just give him thousands of dollars. He's literally like, those people at the top are the elites. That's like talking to Bill Gates.
Well,
not in terms of money, but I'm like, in terms of it's unreachable.
Yeah, their influence is unreachable,
like,
for sure.
Even the people who blow up now, that's almost unreachable for anybody who goes to be that big now.
Yeah.
And you might blow up for a second, and then you'll level out somewhere towards the bottom again. I've seen it, and it happens. Yep. Like Jinxie was getting 100,000 people for almost a year straight. The average is 20, which is nothing to scoff at.
No, not at all.
Losing 80% of your viewer base down to 20K is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you have people like Summit who averages 10K every day.
And he has for years.
And that's just because that's just his community.
Yeah.
And when you start streaming, if you do, or if you don't, which I pray sometimes that you don't, if you do, don't have expectations to even reach anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it is virtually impossible in this day and age. Even if you have I've seen viral videos on TikTok. Some of those people you see on TikTok, bro, they'd be like, they get constant viral clips. They average 34 people. And because I've seen it. I see the TikToks, I go, man, this guy gets like back to back viral videos. But nobody's going to check out his Twitch.
Yeah.
Because that's just not what people do anymore. It's kind of crazy. So.
And I will say, at least there was a couple questions that were submitted by
Voltage's questions.
By Voltage in our stream team. We have a stream team. We do. Even though
we got the Cheek Squad stream team.
Collectively, there's maybe 50 people watching us.
Yeah.
But they're all great guys. They're all great people.
I'll read this first one.
Yeah.
His first question, Mr. Voltage's first question. Do you feel like it's time to find a new bitch or a new game when all the other games aren't hitting like they used to? Such as a new genre you don't normally play, but just to get a new form of entertainment in you.
Yes. Sometimes you do.
I do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of content, that is a bad idea. Because, and it shows, obviously, that's why I have 23 people, right? Which is nothing to scoff at. But that's why I don't grow. Because if you don't play the same game every day, all the time,
build up a solid
people
audience.
Don't know what to expect from your stream. So people who watch my Siege content, I'll get like 30 people when I'm playing Siege. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to switch to Oblivion. Those people who are there for Siege, they bounce out. I go down to 20. Which is
understandable.
And I understand, I get that.
No hate.
But losing a third of your audience because you switch games, it's hard to do that. It depends on I would say that if you're just a small streamer, fuck it, dog. Play whatever you want. Do whatever you want to do. But eventually, if streaming becomes a job,
and it will become a job.
Like me, like I've put off the job part of it. My job is to stream, but I've just been playing whatever I wanted. Eventually, you have to pick a game, and that game will be your job until you build up an audience. Because you can play a game and build up an audience that just loves you, and then you can play whatever you want. Stuff like Queso, that shit is rare. That shit, he is a unicorn in the streaming universe.
Even then, he still does. If you watch his audience counts, he does lose people when he switches.
Yeah, but he is a unicorn to be able to play the amount of indie games that he does. Just any kind of game.
He's like Lyric. He's bigger than Lyric now.
And just people watch him because they're there to try and get in his content or make fun of him or whatever the fuck they want to do. Yeah. But in the streaming space, that's a unicorn. Most people stick to one game. Macy. Like Macy. Macy gets 600 to 1,000 people playing Siege. If he plays Subnautica, it's 250.
Max.
Because people aren't there to watch him play Subnautica.
No.
Only a few people. But when you get those big numbers eventually,
then you gotta hope that you can do it. I mean, I'm
that's
not even gonna say it's guaranteed.
That's when you can try and do it.
Because
if you get 1,000 people, 2,000 people playing Siege, and then you're like, okay, I want to try something else, and you only do it like at the end of stream. You play Siege for 8 hours, you play 2 hours of Minecraft. You'll watch that number diminish eventually over time. And that's just, that's just, it is what it is. Do I want to play games all the time? Yeah. I want to switch up games constantly because that's just what I like. I'm a gamer,
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that. And I have been switching games. Voltage has been watching me switch games constantly. I play things all the time. I try different things on stream. We play Minecraft, Marathon, Schedule 1. I just kind of play what I'm enjoying.
I know.
But the problem is, a lot of people don't enjoy that.
Yes.
They want to watch the same thing. They want to tune into their favorite program.
Their comfort person with their comfort game.
Which is you playing the game they like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sadly, Voltage, since this is directed towards you, those games can't be Repo. You can't play Repo. Game, you can't play Schedule 1. Those are fun games for like a couple hours at the end of stream when you got a bunch of people on to mess around with. But it's hard to grow in a game like that unless you're like Queso, where you just start getting crazy viral clips on every game you play.
Yeah.
Because you're naturally funny. But it's hard. That's why I didn't even play Repo on stream, and I thought that game was funny. We played Lethal Company, I got 16 people. Because people weren't interested in watching Lethal Company. It is what it is.
Second question, so we can wrap up this long podcast.
I told you it was going to be a long one.
Listen, you did this to spite me. Okay, second question.
Oh, you want me to read it? I was waiting for you to read it.
I want you to read it.
What's a practice or tip to motivate you to make content when you want to make content but have no drive for it?
Brother,
what's a thing you can do to get you in the mood, to fuel you, to actually sit down and get the damn thing done? He's been struggling with wanting to make more. I'm
gonna tell you the answer. I'm gonna steal this from him. Me.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm his conscience. It's me. Hi. I'm the one. When he doesn't have the drive to do something, I yell at him. That's what happens. I'm like the manager. So, yeah. Me.
Yeah, it's hard for me to self-motivate. That's just part of depression. It's hard for me to self-motivate myself to do anything like that. And it has been. That's why there's been, one YouTube video in the past fucking 6 months.
How dare you?
I posted a couple during the RuneScape stuff, but since then, I don't post very often. And it's just because, literally December 20th was my last YouTube video, and it was RuneScape. So it's been almost 5 months since over 5 months since I posted. He
said he was going to do like 2 videos a month.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do 100 videos in a year, which is 2 videos a month.
You still could. You just got to start now.
Yeah, but I talk myself out of doing a lot of things because I feel like it's not going to be good enough. And then I just don't. Like, I literally have a 4-minute Siege video sitting in my in my edits that I haven't finished because I don't think it's going to be good enough. But you just have to do it.
I'm going to step in again, and I'm going to direct it to Volt or anybody else. Everyone is going to be different. It's going to be, if you're just not feeling like doing something, especially making content, because the reality is, as a streamer, your goal is to entertain other people. At least 99% of the streamers that are out there, they're there to entertain someone else. Whether it's their gameplay or their sense of humor or the educational content they provide, you're there to provide entertainment. Sometimes you don't want to be the entertainment for the evening. Sometimes you're just like, I just want to play a game. I don't necessarily want to smile and giggle and talk to people. That's when the whole conversation comes up about, is streaming your job or your hobby? Because if it's your hobby, you know what? If you're just not feeling it one day, either you take a break or you turn around and you say, listen, I'm just doing this for funsies. I'm just playing some games publicly. Who cares? I'm just going to get it done. I'm just going to do it. Just hang out. But when it's your job, you just kind of have to remind yourself that you're blessed to have the opportunity.
And it's my job. And I remind myself that every day.
That job. So just get it done. Even if you don't like it, remember, humble yourself that you're blessed to do anything at that level. And think about the people you're there to entertain. I mean, that applies both ways. But like I said, it is different when it becomes your job and it's your only source of income versus when it's a hobby and you do it with friends in a small community or just a few people. It's a little different. There's no pressure when it's that way. You shouldn't pressure yourself when you're doing it as a part-time thing or a hobby thing. Don't pressure yourself. There's no point in pressuring yourself.
I pressure myself.
It's your job. You should.
Because it is my job. Analytics, seeing a video do bad, it's my job to try and figure out why it's doing bad. It's my job to make a better video. It's my job to sit down and edit and do that. To be entertaining on stream, which is part of the motivation. And I try and motivate myself for at least an hour or two a day, because with that thought is, oh, fuck, I have to pay things.
There are bills.
And if I don't edit, then I'm not putting out content that could make any money. Because what if I do post one of my shorts and it does go crazy? Then that's more money than I can make. But if I'm not doing that, I'm not generating anything. If I miss stream, brother, the amount of worry I get when I miss stream, because I'm like, that's an entire day my shop wasn't open.
Yep.
And that, like today, for instance, when we're recording this podcast, an entire day that I'm not streaming drives me crazy. And I would call it off because sometimes I'm depressed, sometimes I just can't get out of bed, sometimes I'm just, I have things that I want to try and do, editing and recording and stuff like that. And I gotta, I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to take the day off. Lisa's like, you can't. It's the same reason. It's the same reason I want to do longer streams.
The longer your store is open, the more people can walk in.
Because there are some EU people from Breeze's stream that like to watch me, but I'm on too late for them to watch. So I want to try and, that's just the reality. So if you want to know the motivation, in short, it's because it's my job.
Yep.
You go to your job every day, not because you want to, but because you have to. Because you need the money. I edit, throw videos together, schedule them, throw a TikTok up because I need the traction. I want to hopefully have that video hit and have even one new person come in and one new person sub. And that's just a little bit of extra money and another person in the community that comes my way. But if I don't do that, it never happens. Nobody comes down. I can't hope my way into the spotlight.
And again, if you're a person that has a regular job or another source of income and you're doing streaming or content creation as a hobby or side job, let it be that.
Yeah.
Let it be that. Don't pressure yourself. Do your thing. Don't think about it like a job. You don't need to treat it like it's...
Because it's not.
Because it's not. Don't pressure it. You'll make better content if you're not pressuring yourself. It does make it way harder when it's your only source of income. It does.
And then I will say,
that's a different aspect.
If you do make content, don't force it. Because goddamn, that is noticeable when you force it.
Yeah.
You purposely do.
You wouldn't know that.
I don't force but you purposely like do stupid shit constantly. I can tell anyway. And it drives me crazy when I see it. So I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't really do that. Like, even Tim does that. Tim does the little fallen thing. Oh, yeah. That's 100% on purpose.
Yeah.
But people eat that shit up.
His audience is so big, though, half of them don't even notice.
And he's a good actor.
He is.
He can sell that as just him being bad.
Him being bad, yeah.
But, you know, we're not that good at it. All my content I try and do real. Not, I don't want to stage anything. But, this has been a long podcast.
It has been a long podcast. Y'all were just rambling.
We had a lot.
Yapping.
Yeah, we did. We rambled about the streaming thing for like 20 minutes.
Yapping.
That's why I had to cut.
Because it comes up a lot.
It does. And it's been something on our list that we wanted to talk about. And I said today was the day. Because we have a lot of people that come in, like, that they just ask, what would you do if I considered streaming? What would be the first step? And I get that. But that's what I would do, is not.
Not or treat it very casually.
Or
super casually.
Don't go in and be like, oh, I'm expecting, because even if your boys say, I want you to stream so I can watch you, they'll start watching you and then click off.
Yeah.
Because people have no attention span anymore.
Yeah.
So just come in with no expectations if you do choose to do it. But we do appreciate you listening today. I know it's going to be an hour and a half of me periodically looking at the camera because I didn't want to record B-roll footage. But it'll be the first time that I post a full YouTube video with my face on it. Just talking and doing this. You can't see Lisa because we're not doing that. She doesn't want to be on camera.
I really don't.
But this will be what, episode 3? Episode 3 of season 4. And I think we're going to start looking at so real quick. Tomorrow, as of recording this, April 26th, I'll be starting
February
back-to-back 24-hour streams, or back-to-back 12-hour streams.
Little tip-a-thon.
With little tip-a-thons, little goals here and there, siege stuff, to push me towards actually committing to siege, like going emerald, going for diamond, champ, doing, laugh you lose challenges, stuff like that. So if you want to come by and support that, we will be doing that like 24 hours later from the posting of this video.
That's twitch.tv/Obrodo.
Yeah, as she said, twitch.tv/Obrodo. But we do appreciate you listening to the Cheekcast Podcast, and we will see you next time. There will be a live recording if we hit the goal this weekend. Because we do have a live recording goal on there that if we do manage to hit it, we will have to either schedule it for the next day or do it at that day to do a live podcast on stream. And that's when we kind of don't have a topic. We kind of just take questions from people watching and talk about anything and everything. So we appreciate you watching, and we love you guys. Feel free to leave us a review or comment on how good or bad we were today.
You know what? Don't tell me that, to be honest with you. But you can
don't
tell
her.
You can
tell me. You can also tell us what you want us to talk about.
I'm good for that, though.
We do have a space in our Discord for feedback for people who want to leave a question that we may or may not get to, which we usually do because we keep track of that stuff. But have a good night, everybody, or day, whatever time it is that you're listening to this.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. It's been a long one, and if you made it this far, pineapples.
You're goat. Fucking goated.
Pineapples. Have a good night. Love you guys. Bye.
Goodbye.